If you've never made flour tortillas and you find that the ones you've made are real hard like crackers and they're not soft and easy to tear, then this video is for you. Now, tortillas are super easy to make when you have all the techniques just right. And I'm going to show you step by step. So let's get started. So we're going to start out with all-purpose flour. Now I've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour right here. I'm going to go ahead and put them into my bowl. Now, before you get your flour and put it into your bowl, you want to make sure that you loosen it up. Because if your flour is real compact and you fill up a cup, it might be like a cup and a fourth or a cup and 2 tablespoons because it was so compact. So you want your flour to be nice and loose. So we've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Now I've got half a teaspoon of baking powder, just like that. And I've got a teaspoon and 3/4 of salt. I find that 1 3/4 to 2 teaspoons is just right. So I'm going to put my salt in there. Now before I add anything else, I'm going to go ahead and mix this up really good. Because you want to make sure that your baking powder and your flour and your salt are mixed in really, really well. So that it can be real well distributed in here. Okay, so after we mix them in there really good, I'm going to add my shortening. So I'm going to put in 3 tablespoons of shortening right in here like this. Okay? Now with very clean hands, I'm going to bring all that in together like this. See? Now if you can do this like this and turn it into really, really fine little crumbs, ooh, you're going to have the best flour tortillas. So I just continue doing this like that until I know that I have broken up all the shortening into the flour like that. If this is the first time you make tortillas, and you're just learning, then you want to take your time and master this technique. Once you get it just right, you'll be able to make them without even thinking about it, and it'll be done so quick you won't even feel it. Okay? I have brought it in together, and look at how it looks. You see? Look at that. It's just like real fine crumbs. That's just the way it is like that. So now it's time for the water. Now I've got my water here, and I've got it nice and hot, but it's not so hot that it's going to burn you. It's a little hotter than warm. Now I'm going to use 1 cup, and I'm going to put in a little bit at a time, okay? Just a little bit like that, and then I'm going to bring it in. See? Starting to take form. See? Put a little bit more, and then you just continue going, just like this. You continue going and bringing in the loose flour from the bottom. Add some water there. Now I usually use about 1 cup and about a tablespoon. It just works for me like that. 1 cup and about 1 tablespoon. A lot depends on your weather. If it's real hot and dry, you might have to use a little bit more. If it's real humid and wet, maybe you'll use a little bit less. I bake bread a lot, and I make a lot of desserts, and I like to make dinner rolls and things like that. And I find that, it depends on the day. Some days I use a little bit more liquid than the others. Okay, so that's 1 cup of water. I'm going to bring it in together now, just like this. And you can go around making sure that you pick up all the flour that's on the wall of your bowl. Just like that. Just like this. See? And I think that the cup is going to be about just perfect. I won't need that tablespoon. And then make sure that you bring it in together really good. And there we are. See? We brought it all in together. Just like that. It's still wet and it needs to be kneaded very well. So I'm going to put it right here on my counter and I'm going to start kneading it. Just like this. Now the trick to making good, beautiful tortillas that are soft and easy to tear and that will still be soft the next day is the kneading right here. This is very important. You need to take your time and knead it very well because what you're doing is you're bringing it all in together and you're making gluten. See? So I'm going to continue doing this for about 5 minutes. So it's been about 5 minutes. My dough is beautiful and perfect. Look at that. See how beautiful that is? Now I'm going to put it right back in the bowl where we started. And I've got a slightly wet kitchen towel. I'm going to cover it up. And I use a light wet kitchen towel because I want to keep the moisture in there. Now I'm going to set it aside and I'm just going to let it sit there for at least 30 minutes. This way it would have set a good enough time. That's just going to give you the perfect dough. And then I'll see you in a little bit. So it's been exactly 30 minutes. See our dough? Look at that. See, it's real nice and moist. It's just perfect. So what I'm going to do is, usually I just tear out a little ball like this. Just about that much, like that. And then I'm going to make what we call testales. That's what my mom used to call them. Or just little balls. You can roll them like this if you want to. You see? You can just roll them like this. And you'll have a perfect little ball. Or you can just do them like this, the way I do. And what I'm doing in slow motion is I'm pinching it, pushing it in. Pinching it and pushing it in like this. You see? Just like that. And that's about the size that I make. Now I like to have just a little bit of flour. And I just lightly flour them like this. Just like that. And I'm going to set them aside right here. So then I come back here. And I pinch me another little ball. And usually with your hand, after a while, you'll get the feel of it. And you'll know exactly what size. It's about this much. You see, it can fit in my hand like that. And again, I'm going to do the same thing like that. And there's your perfect little ball. See? And then you dust it lightly. And set it aside like that. And come and get you another pinch. And then after a while, you'll get the perfect amount. And they'll all look about the same. But if one is a little bigger than the other, it doesn't matter. Now I can make about 12 to 14. Sometimes I make 12. Sometimes I've made 14. It just depends on how big your little ball is. But don't you worry if they're not all exactly the same. They'll work out just perfect. So I'm going to continue doing this until I'm done with all my dough. So I'm going to be using my cast iron griddle. And I've got my heat set right in the middle of medium and high. Now if you have a gas stove, it might be a little lower than that. Might not be as hot. But with an electric stove, I've noticed that right in the middle of medium and high is perfect. Okay? So I've got 12 little balls that I made. 12 little testales. And I had a little tiny bit left over. And it usually is like this. I usually make 12 with that amount. But if you make your balls a little smaller, you might get 13 or 14. It all depends how you like it. So I'm going to go ahead and set them aside right here. And I usually keep them covered up just lightly like this with a towel. So I'm going to start with one. Now I've got 2 rolling pins. Sometimes I use this one. And sometimes I use this one. And this is the one I like the most. So this is the one I'm going to use. But you can use whatever works for you. Now to roll it out, you want to start in the middle to the front. Then in the middle to the back. Okay? That's the way I do it. From the middle to the front. From the middle to the back. And then you turn it around. From the middle to the front. From the middle to the back. Now I kept a little bit of flour right here in case you want to dust, your countertop. If you want to dust it with just a little bit like that. It doesn't take a lot. You see? Just a little like that. If you don't need it, then don't use it. From the middle to the front. From the middle to the back. See? And you put some pressure, but you don't have to put a lot of pressure. It usually just slides real nice like that. See? And if you can't get them to be just perfectly round, don't worry about it. Just like that. See? So then, now I'm going to put it on my griddle. Just like that. And as you can see, the bubbles are coming up. See? Now I usually let those bubbles get just a little bit bigger before I flip it over. You see how they puff up like that and they get full of air? They get little air pockets. I usually just go in there and push them down. But the air pockets are good because that means that the steam is cooking them from the center, from the inside. But then I just get little spots on the back. So I usually like to just kind of push them down a little bit like that. See, look at that. See how pretty and soft they are? And in there. And this is my last one. See? Look at this. I want to show you this. See how soft they are? Look at that. See how easy they are to bend? That's exactly what we want when we make tortillas. Just like that. See? Just like that. And you know what? I'm going to show you some of the tortillas that I've got in the refrigerator. I've got like 4 or 5 that I made like the day before yesterday. Just so you'll see what they look like. Look, these tortillas I have in the refrigerator. I made these the day before yesterday. Look, even though they're real cold, look at them. You see how they're still real soft, even though they're cold? They're still real soft, considering that they were in the refrigerator. You see that? So then, I usually just let them dry out. I put them out, you know, like this. Well, actually, I'll show you with these hot ones. This is what I do. I just get them like this, and I just put them out, and I let them cool. When I'm getting ready to put them in the refrigerator. So I just let them cool like that, you know, just put them out anywhere. Just let them cool from both sides. And then I gather them back up. See, like that. I gather them back up. Just like this. And then I get a Ziploc bag, just like I did with these. I get a Ziploc bag, and when they're nice and cold, I just put them in a Ziploc bag like this and put them in the fridge. And then tomorrow or the next day, when you want to warm them up, all you do is just take one out, put it on your hot griddle, and they are ready to go, and they'll be warm just like you had just made them. So they do refrigerate really, really nicely. So these are my cold ones, and these are the ones I made right now. So I'm going to get me a real nice hot one like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some butter. See? Just like that. This is how my mom used to do it. She'd put a little bit of butter like that. And then she would just roll them up for us like this. Look at that. Just like that. And she'd give it to us, and then she'd say, váyanse pa afuera. Go outside and play. Oh, man. Oh my gosh, they are delicious. So these are my homemade flour tortillas. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up. Send me a comment and tell me what you think. Tell me your story. What's going on with you and your tortillas? If you have a question, send me a question, and I usually always answer everybody back. Thank you.